going to get into the leadership side of this later, but the turnaround seemed to have begin to spark for you during solitary confinement, right? So that seemed like from the story that you've told me and on stage, that seems like the moment where you decided to start investing in yourself, right, and growing, learning to read, and then kind of turning things around to a position where there's positivity and hope exuding from you, you know, and not that negativity and that anger, which you, by the way, deserve 1,000 times over to have that negativity and anger for what you had gone through, of course. But so what was it like when you were done with solitary confinement after 5 years, going back into the general population? What did that Alfonso look like, and what did day-to-day look like for you?
Oh my goodness, it was an incredible experience. It was like during my solitary confinement, I often say the worst thing that could have happened to me is that I was locked in a small room with a book, and that is exactly what happened. I mean, I was locked in this small space where I was able to not only reinvent myself but bring about personal healing, because I remember there was a time in my life where I was this active kid. I mean, I was excited about life. Everything was like, and then all of a sudden, somewhere along there, it was like a shutdown. And so while I was in solitary confinement, that's when I began to discover that there was a brokenness that happened to that 8-year-old child. And once I began to return back to the 8-year-old child and embrace him and let him know, okay, Alfonso, you're not a failure. Even though society or your siblings or whoever may have told you that, but that's not who you are. So I had to go through a process where undoing a lot of lies that were spoken into my life, because for a long time I was living out a self-fulfilled prophecy. And so once that healing began to take place in that dark place, once I returned back to general population, prison was no longer a place of punishment for me. It became a higher form of education,